Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Good, good, good.
Good, good?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. There he is. There he is. It's been a busy day for you?
I'm sorry.
It's been a busy day for you?
Yeah, kind of. It kind of has. Yep,
Yeah,
yep. But it's over
definitely.
now, so I have no
Hey, nothing
complaints,
wrong
man.
with that. Nothing wrong with that. Oh my gosh. Such an honor. Ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea. You have no idea. This gentleman right here is, well, I like to think of like Shaq used to refer to Tim Duncan as Mr. Fundamentals, right? This is my Mr.
I am humbled.
Fundamentals
Oh my goodness.
right here. Mr.
Oh man.
Fundamentals. He even still got the scrubs on. Mr. Fundamentals is right here.
Right from work,
Oh
brother.
man,
Right from work.
definitely, man. It's
Yes,
such an
sir.
honor,
I
such an honor
appreciate
to
it.
have you, man.
I'm
And
honored to be here.
oh man,
Yes,
thank you
sir. Yes,
for
sir.
those who don't know, Mr. Fundamentals. You're not going to get the correct body mechanics. You're not going to get any better display
Oh
of
man.
how it's
I'm
supposed
trying.
to be
I'm
done.
trying.
School textbook.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're doing it all, man. So welcoming. Make sure
Thank
I'm
you.
saying this right. Makairos.
Yes, Makairos. So the name is Kofi, but the
Yep.
company name is Makairos. Yes.
Okay. The
Hmm.
name of Kofi, Makairos. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
Kofi,
sir.
Makairos Massage in
Hmm.
Laurel,
Laura,
Maryland,
Maryland. Yep.
right?
Hmm.
Laurel,
Hmm.
Laura Maryland. My
You got it. You
apologies.
got it. You got it.
Maryland. Appreciate you
No
coming, man.
problem.
Most
No problem.
definitely.
No problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So have you on the show. Like I said, this is completely different, man. This is just therapist to therapist talk,
Hmm.
man.
Hmm.
We're here just chatting it up and having a good time.
Hey,
And
I'm down for
they think we appreciate you for doing it. It's like our meeting started, I would say, during lockdown. I believe that's where we
Yes, during
started.
lockdown. Yep,
Yeah,
during
yeah.
lockdown.
During
Hmm.
lockdown is kind of when I came across Mr. Fundamentals. And I was like, man, he's on point, professional, doing it the way it's supposed to be done. Like
I'm
this
trying.
right here is what I get inspired to make sure that the body mechanics stay the way it's supposed to stay. Business wise, you had the lights in the room. I seen all that and everything that you're doing, man. You're doing
It's
big
been a
things.
process.
Oh man, so like, share with us your story. Like, how did it all begin? How did you get to the point to even thinking I may need to go to massage school and learn all this? Like, how did all this start for you?
So I've always been interested in massage. I've been massaging my mom since I was like 5, 6 years old. I remember when she come from work, her back will be hurting, her feet will be hurting from standing all day. So I used to do that. And back in, I want to say 2004, I tried to go to school in North Carolina, in High Point, North Carolina. And
Mm,
the program that they had was conflicting with my current college classes. So I couldn't do it then. So, fast
mm,
forward to 2019, which is a long time away from that,
woo,
um, I decided to sign up for school. I'd always been, like I said,
okay.
I've always been interested in massage. I've given some family members massages before. I got good
Mm,
feedback. And I had a friend who was suffering from some chronic back pain. So I ended up giving her a massage because I was visiting her, and she
mm.
was over the sink, just like, hunched over trying to do the dishes. And I'm like, hey, is your back okay?
Oh,
It
wow.
seems like you always have issues with your back. So I insisted, I even showed her kids at the same time, kind of like, hey, here's how to massage mommy's back so that you could help her out. And, after that, she was like, Kofi, you've been talking about massage for a while. Why did you just do
Mm,
it? And I was like, you know
mm,
what?
mm,
Right now I got the time and the energy to do it. I'm just gonna try to see if I can do it. So I started visiting schools in the area, trying to do interviews and try to find out what the cost would be, what is required of me, how long it would take, and all of that stuff. And I eventually chose one and went to massage school. That's
oh
my journey there. So it's
man,
it's
so
been
you
a
haven't
it's
been
been a
doing it
passion.
that long.
No, no, I have not.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
my second year. Yeah. So
Wow.
I started right at I passed my exams in December of
Hmm.
2019.
Hmm.
Wrote my Maryland exams in January 2020. Got my license that February, and
Ooh, right
I
before the
signed,
shutdown.
bro, right before the shutdown.
Oh my
So yeah,
gosh.
I signed up for a suite on March 1st, 2020, and
What?
guess what? 3 weeks later, we got
Shutdown.
shut down. Yes, 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 yes. I did
Wow.
two clients in my studio before the shutdown. Yeah,
Oh my
and yeah,
gosh,
it
man.
was very discouraging, man. Very
Oh
discouraging. Cause
man.
I'm like, I just got
I can
here,
imagine.
and this is happening. Yep, yep.
Oh,
But that was a
I
journey.
can imagine.
Pandemic was
Oh
over, and we got
man.
back to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you hit the ground running after that.
Oh
Like
man,
two massages. Yeah, you can't do it. I just got
I just
here.
literally got here, and you're just gonna shut
I still
everything
got.
down.
Oh man, which is very similar because the way you do everything is straight out of like on top like fundamentals, and it's very inspiring, man, and the grind and to see how you what inspires me the most is your consistency.
Yeah, that's been
Very consistent.
tough to do. hmm
Very.
That's a
I can
whole full-time
imagine.
job, man.
Boy,
You,
every day, even
yeah, you know how it is. You know how it is.
boy, like because then that's closer to my journey because really like 2019 is when I finished,
Hmm.
right? And then I went into, and I'm talking about, I finished mid 2019, but I ain't even, with so much crazy stuff going on, I didn't even get to get my license until the end of 2019, like
Mm,
2000 or like November, I mean,
hmm
like 2019.
hmm
And by the time I did that, I kind of went into, because I was like, let me kind of get the experience of the franchise. But it's interesting that you went straight to the studio after graduation
Yeah.
and opened your own. What made you decide to do that? Like, what
So,
encouraged you to say, I'm getting my own, forget that. I'm going straight to it.
so prior to that, I was working for myself prior to that. I had a home
Hmm.
theater. I still have it. I have a home theater business where I do TV
Okay.
mounting, security cameras, in-wall speakers, projector installations, all of that stuff. So
Okay.
to me, it was disadvantageous to go and work for
Hmm.
somebody and not be able to
Hmm.
attend to my clients. So I almost had no choice but to do that.
Yeah.
And I figured, you know
Yeah.
what? The goal was to do mobile massage because
Hmm.
I would move from house to house, fixing TVs, fixing security cameras and stuff like that. I'm like, I can't also
Hmm.
be locked down in an office because I have to move
Right.
around. So I started off with
Right.
mobile massage, and I realized how much time and effort goes into it. You get to a
Hmm.
location, you unpack your table, your oils, your bolster, your sheets, and everything, and you go set up. Sometimes you got to move furniture around. You already know how that goes.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it was just time
Hmm.
consuming. Then you start the massage, you finish, you check them out, you tear down again, pack up all the stuff back into the car. I was like, man, that's a
Oh my
lot of
God.
work. So I run into a
The
lady
process.
on Instagram who became my mentor. That's what she does. She reached out to me on Instagram and she kind of coached me through the whole process of if you find a studio, even though you're going to be paying rent, you're going to have everyone come to you and your turnaround time would be much quicker. So you could essentially see more people in a day than driving all
Hmm.
over the city, you know, struggling with
Hmm.
parking and this and that, climbing up 3 flights of stairs into someone's apartment. So
Man,
yeah, I
I was just about to
that's
say.
how I ended up getting the studio. But because of my other business, I really couldn't work for anybody else. It wasn't going to help that
Yeah.
business, being locked down in someone's space.
Right.
Yeah. Yep, 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 yep.
Right. Which is very interesting. So you were already used to the mobile, the house to
Yes, yeah.
house, but yeah, like you said, that
That process
process is
is
very
tedious.
tearing.
Yeah.
It's a lot on
Mm-hmm.
us as far as like that's like setting up your studio every
Every
session.
yeah,
Literally, like I want this room. I think I want to paint
you
this
know,
color. I want to put this
some
over
lights
here, that
over
over
there.
there. I'm gonna
Yep,
set
yep,
this
yep.
right here, lights, and then tearing it all
Mm-hmm.
down. It's like okay, we'll do
Mm-hmm.
it again in about an
Mm-hmm.
hour. Like what? So yeah, your mentor is that referring to in Florida?
No, my men actually, where does she live? In Washington State. Yep.
Oh,
Washington
Washington.
State. Yep.
Okay,
Yep. Yep.
cool,
I have a
cool.
few mentors, but
Well,
that was
that's
my main
good.
mentor. She lived in Washington State. I don't think she does it anymore, but I
Okay.
was with her for 6 months during the pandemic, just going through
Mhm.
different things we can do during the pandemic and right after the lockdown was over, all of that stuff. Yeah, it was still grind time.
Oh
I
man.
literally still worked every day, except I didn't rub any backs. But yeah,
Right. So so you still do the
yes,
home
yes.
theater now, and you do the
Hmm.
oh, so you still in
Yep, 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 yep.
you
Oh, I got to do
grinding.
what I got to
You're
do.
grinding it. Oh man. That's so tell me the story behind, your name is
Hmm.
Kofi, and how did we
To
come or how
Makairos.
did you come up with
So
yeah, like
Makairos,
what
when I used
how
to
did that
when I was in school, sometimes we had to practice on people. Not sometimes. We always had to practice on people outside of
hmm
class. And so those that I would practice on, one common feedback that I was getting was, man, you have blessed hands. Your hands are so blessed. It's like you're gifted with this and whatever.
yeah.
So coming up with a
hmm
name, I didn't want to sound cliche and do something like blessed hands or healing hands or something like,
hmm
because there are a
hmm
lot of people that have that name. So I wanted to be unique, and
hmm
so I decided to go Greek. And Makairos, which means supremely blessed in Greek, was very fitting. So I figured, you know what? I'm gonna
Okay.
go with that. It sounds good. It's catchy, and
Yeah.
nobody else.
I never
Yeah,
knew.
yeah. I was researching and I found out. So that's how
Man.
that came about.
Cause cause I was over here just thinking, it's like,
What
how is
does it
it
mean? Is it his name?
right? Cause what stuck out to me was Kairos.
Hmm.
And from an old job, Kairos was more of like we're going
Hmm.
on Kairos, which means like a retreat,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So I was thinking of, not like well retreat like but without the resort. Just think of we're going away and then we're studying and we're
Hmm.
together in
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
community and we do what we do. But I was thinking like, is it because of like a retreat type of environment you're
Ah, I
getting kind
see.
of like a
I
getaway?
see what
But
you mean. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I
yeah, yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I was thinking like, but then I was like, well, where did Ma come from? You know what I mean? So I was like, that was kind of my
Hmm.
process with
Hmm.
it all. But it's good to know like the meaning of it. Like I
Yeah, so
never
it
knew. That's
essentially
I
means
like that.
fortunate, blessed, or happy. But the meaning that
Fortunate, blessed, and
the
happy.
meaning that I really stuck to was supremely blessed. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going
Okay.
with that. Yep, yep, yep. Because as you know, it
Okay,
is really a
man.
gift. It's not meant for everybody. I mean, anybody can do it, but I feel like there are some people that are just
Yeah.
gifted to do that. So hearing that over and over
Yes.
again, I figured, you know what? The people have spoken.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like the thing is, I'm putting it's I gotta I'm doing a lot of episodes. Like I'm really really doing a lot of features with everybody that I'm
Sweet.
inspired by. You are one of them that I have
I'm
to
honored.
get on the show, man, because I need just like because I was saying it on another interview, like I'm putting together the Avengers, you know what I mean, of a massage therapist,
Nice, nice,
right?
nice.
And it's like I see you as
Oh
Hawkeye,
man.
you know what I mean, because like it's straight like you have to be nice with that bow and arrow, man. It's not for everybody, and to be in a full blown war battle where they got
Yeah,
alien machines and all this stuff,
you got to
and you
come
still
right.
got the arrow. It's kind of like, but you're effective, and I'm like, okay, they got all other kinds of alternatives, but yeah, like it's that's incredible, man. So like with the like, how is it in Maryland? Like, how
Maryland.
is it like? What's the school process like? Because there's credit
Mhm, mhm.
hours, there's how long it takes to
Yeah, yeah,
do,
yeah, yeah.
go through. Like here, it was 10 months,
Mhm,
and in the state of
mhm.
Indiana at the time I went, it was 500, but
Mm.
they just raised it to
Wow.
750 credit hours.
Yeah.
So how is it in
So
Maryland?
Maryland, we have two tiers, which we have the registered massage therapist, which is an RMP, and then the
Hmm.
licensed massage therapist. I'm a licensed massage therapist, but now they're
Yes,
moving to one tier. And I think all the states, yeah,
license.
license. I think all the states are eventually going to do it too. So they recently
Hmm.
increased the number of hours that you have to do. So I haven't kept up with
Hmm.
that. But school here is
Okay.
anywhere from 7 months, which is the quickest, like the absolute quickest you can do. But it's a crammed session,
7
yeah.
months.
You're going every day to class, Monday through Friday, like 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. type of deal. Yeah. But I took,
Neat.
because I was going to be an LMT, it's technically a 2-year program at one of the community colleges over
Mm-hmm.
here. But because I'm already
Mm-hmm.
a college graduate, my credits transferred, so I was able to do a 1-year accelerator program at night. Yeah, at night
Really?
only, 3 nights a week for 5 hours. Yeah. Yep.
Man,
Yep.
that's
Mhm.
that's
Yep.
interesting. Mine's was I went through a
Mhm.
night class. Like when I went there, I was working. I was actually I came from the hard the
Mhm.
IT
Mhm.
industry. So I was a hardware tech, right? Working on computers and
Mhm.
printers and everything. And they were like, besides computers,
That's
how does that go? You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't
yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
feel I'm supposed to help
Hey,
people.
there
You
you go.
know, I'm gonna leave the computer alone and
There
I'm
you
gonna get a
go.
shoulder, right?
There you go. Either way, you're gonna type
But
somewhere.
here
Mhm.
somewhere like I was working on the muscles the
Exactly.
whole time so I can get the adhesions and write that
Exactly.
up, cross-fiber
There
friction,
you go.
and do all that. Right. So, and it's interesting you say that. I didn't This is the first time that I'm hearing about the 2 tiers,
Mhm.
but like you said, they're moving
They
over the
are. Yeah.
license. I literally just did an episode talking about, because we literally here just converted and being enforced. So as of July 13th, 2022 here, which I matter of fact, it comes out
Mm.
tomorrow. That
Oh,
episode comes
okay.
out tomorrow because this is right. This is what,
Yeah.
the 28th. Yeah, so come out the 29th. Catch that tomorrow. But I we just got into where you have to be licensed, enforced government
Mm.
licensure agency, which is very
Mhm.
interesting that I'm hearing the
Yeah. Yeah.
two, and depending on which one you go with, it has the different
Yeah. Not just
durations.
that, but it
Um,
has its advantages and disadvantages. So RMPs, the tricky part is, as an RMP, you can only work at a spa, like a massage envy, a
really?
hotel chain, stuff like that. That's it. Um, But as a licensed massage therapist, you can work at a spa, you can work at a doctor's office, a chiropractor's office, a wellness center, a
Hmm.
hospital, all of that. But when the pandemic hit, the
Okay.
funny thing is LMTs were considered healthcare workers, even though all massage therapists are really healthcare workers. But LMTs are
Technically.
technically in
Mhm.
Maryland healthcare workers. Like we can actually administer the COVID vaccine at one point. So, which is, yes.
Really?
Yeah, they sent an email out.
Oh
If
wow.
you're interested and want to sign up to administer, you could. But the what was I gonna say? The LMTs were allowed back to work much earlier than the RMPs. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we were back in the
Hmm.
workforce, and I could see my colleagues just at home, like, how are you guys able to work?
That's wow. Like we can administer? Really? See, this is why I do this, ladies and gentlemen. You never know the life of licensed massage therapists. It's different everywhere you go. You know, 7 months to 2 years, and that you can only work in spas and hotels and retreats, like he said, if you were RMP or registered, or that version, versus the license where you can have full range and fledge of everything. Every state is different. Every state, and this is why I'm tapping in every state to see how it is, so it can give you a bigger scale or bigger scope of what's going on, and you'll be able to, um depending on where you are, depending on where you're watching this, you can kind of get an idea. The best thing to do is to make sure that do your research, depending on what state you are, depending on where you are, you're to find out the requirements for, um the requirements if you want to go along on this journey, your state requirements, and to help you out, find a good school, etc. Yes sir, yes sir. So yeah, like, trying to remember where I was. I mean,
I
I
think we
did
were
the night
talking about,
classes as well.
yeah, yeah, classes. Yep.
Yeah, I did the night classes as well, and I did, it was like 4 hours, but it was 2 nights, and it
Mm,
was a span of 10 months. right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we went through the license agency, and I believe like there's different criterias, but we did clinic as well. And clinic was just like a, what was it, like a 5 hour shift, not quite six, it was
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
five
Same
five hour
here.
shift.
Yep.
And it was like a morning, or you had the evening, one or the two, either
Mhm.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
Now all things has changed, so I went through there as well.
Mhm.
But I was doing the as a hardware tech, I was going to school and part-time, so I was
Mhm.
really juggling over here trying to get to this point. And it was, I just went a different route. I did the more of the franchise route to try to
Mhm.
learn more of
Mhm.
the
Yep.
business, because I didn't know what I was doing. So I went that route to get more experience, and then dived over here into
Mm.
trying to juggle the wave. It's a wave
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that I find is pretty constant. So, like, what are your you have like what are your goals? I see you accomplishing a lot very quickly,
Ah.
but what do you see where you, like, 5 years from now? Like, where do you see yourself?
I would like to have a storefront, several rooms,
Storefront.
several therapists, different
Mm-hmm.
modalities being offered, potentially like
Mm-hmm.
a yoga room or something like that. People can just come in, a little getaway from, everyday life, and
Mm-hmm.
just kind of chill out, get massages, meditate, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. So
Same
hence the
here. Same
name
here.
Spa and Wellness Center. Even though I'm just in one little office, looking up
Mm-hmm.
ahead, years down the line, I don't want to have to go through the whole let me change the name and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I added the
Yeah.
wellness center just for that reason. But that's kind of the goal.
Really
Yep,
nice.
yep, yep.
Have you, and even with that environment, do you see that being just one location, or do you see
Um,
like more franchise route, or just
franchise
more
route is
additional
I
sites
would say
or
additional
locations?
sites. Franchise route, I don't know if I'll go that route just yet. But definitely additional sites. Franchises,
Okay.
is definitely an option to look into. Yeah, but definitely multiple
Hmm.
locations wouldn't be a bad idea. As,
Yeah.
as as soon as I see how the first one goes, then I can see how I can
Hmm.
duplicate it. Yep. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Same here.
That should be
Here
the
in my
goal.
studio. Hmm. The best of wishes, because that's the same. Trying to get my own storefront. I got my own
Mm-hmm,
room
mm-hmm,
within like
mm-hmm.
multiple rooms. It's just that start, and what I come to find out, as far as like, it's the process, and we
Yeah.
have a saying, trust the process.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
to me, it's the mindset of saying, okay, I know where I'm trying to
Yeah.
go, but what's the
Route to
easiest,
get there.
simplest, best first step that I can do, and then we'll worry about the same type of next step there, and
Exactly.
eventually we'll get there.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
that's, have you ever, do you, because I know you do the mobile, and you're trying to get the location and your own storefront. Have you thought about, like, you traveling different states,
So I
and
do that.
maybe
I do
you
that.
do
Yeah,
that?
I do that. I do Atlanta
Okay.
and Miami. Um,
Nice.
yeah, and those have been pretty good because as an LMT, well, some people don't know. Well, not just an LMT, as a massage therapist, period. You can go into a
Mm-hmm.
certain state and work a certain number of hours, and you don't have to be licensed in that state. But I
Mm-hmm.
do Atlanta and I do Miami. I've
Mm-hmm.
thought about expanding it to other cities, but it's no joke traveling somewhere and working and getting the accommodation and getting your table there and setting up and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's no joke.
Explain that process, because I'm trying to get to that as well.
Hmm.
Explain that process a little
So
bit more, to
that
enlighten the
process,
ones, because yeah.
I guess it's easier for me now because I've done it so many times, but the process is basically get your marketing straight first before you even
Okay.
attempt to get there. That's what I tell
Okay.
everybody who asks me that question.
Yes, sir.
And
Hmm.
once you have an idea of the interest over there, then you can start reaching out to people and getting your dates kind of squared away. So typically, what I'll do personally is, not to say it's for everybody, but my personal process, I figure out what week would work best for my clients, and then I work around that versus booking a week and then expecting them to work around my schedule because I'm coming from out of town. They
Mm,
could have anything
right.
going on. They
Right.
could be out of town for all I know. It
Yeah.
just happened to me. I'll get there and people are out of town
Right.
too. So
Oh
I
man, look, I'm
usually,
in town. Y'all out of
you
town.
know, exactly, learn the hard way.
Right.
But
Oh
usually
man.
get that going, or Instagram ads, Facebook ads, or whatever, or the people that
Hmm.
I know that I do Miami and Atlanta because I have family in both Florida and in Atlanta. So it's easier because I get to stay with them and then I do mobile.
Right.
But the best way is to get an Airbnb, get your clients, and
Hmm.
then work from there. But the travel process, you really got to figure out from the airlines what their charges are for like
Okay.
excess bags and whatever. And when I say excess bags, a massage table is considered an oversized bag. So something
Okay.
like Delta will charge you for an oversized bag and then will charge you for an excess bag fee because it's not part of their regular allowed bags. So you're paying double on that. I think it costs about
Mm-hmm.
$200 just to fly with your table one way. Yeah. Now here's the catch, not a promotion for Southwest, but you know Southwest has two free bags. So Southwest, you can take your
Mm-hmm.
massage table as a bag, and they will only charge you for an um, oversized bag, which is $75,
Mm-hmm.
which to me that's nothing. I mean, not as nothing, but you know, compared to $200, that's nothing.
Yeah, that's a
So
no-brainer. You know,
I would suggest if you're
yeah,
flying
for
Southwest, because then on the
mhm.
in your other bag, you can put in your sheets, your oils, your bolster, everything in one suitcase, and you could have your massage table as your second suitcase. And honestly, you could put some scrubs and whatever
Mm.
you need in there, carry on, and you're good to go. No more fees.
Oh
Yeah, that's the best way. Yep, yep,
man.
yep. But
You're
and
right.
aside from
Yeah,
that,
it
you
is the best.
definitely need a rental car.
Oh
Because you
yeah,
know,
yeah, to be able to, so would you, are there times, or do you do it like once you get there and you have everything squared away, do you do it like basically pure mobile, or
no.
do you like,
If I'm staying with
you
family,
do get like a room, the
yeah,
Airbnb, and then they come to
yeah.
you?
If I'm
Okay,
staying with
okay,
family,
okay,
mobile.
makes sense.
But if I have a lot of
Makes
clients
sense.
who also can't have me come to their residence because they live in the studio or the kids are going to be, you know, in the way or pets or stuff like that, then I get an Airbnb.
Hmm.
So, like Atlanta, for instance, I'll text my clients that I
Hmm.
have there and say, hey, I'm thinking of coming, you know, August, third week of August. Would you prefer mobile
Hmm.
or would you prefer to come to me? So I ask everybody that and try to gather the interest. And then from that, I'll decide if I want to invest money in an Airbnb or just say, hey, listen, it's going to be mobile this time. So, because you know, you got to get a rental car to move your table around, to move your suitcase around, not just because you're doing
Yeah,
mobile, but because you might arrive at the
yeah,
airport and the Uber that shows up to pick you up can't take your table. That is the worst. So
right.
I don't
I
even,
didn't think
yeah,
about
it's a
that.
lot to think about. I don't even go that route. I just get my ticket, I get my car rental, I get my Airbnb because I don't want any problems. And
Right.
you don't have to stick with an Airbnb. I do that because once again, you know, I'm big on body mechanics. I want the space to be able to work. I don't want to be
Hmm.
crammed between a
Hmm.
window and a king size bed in a hotel room trying to figure out how
Mm.
I'm going to move and then end up hurting my back because I'm trying to fix somebody else's back, you know?
I can imagine, like, hold on,
You
hold on,
know,
Mike.
falling
Where are you
over.
trying to? Where are you trying to get to? It was like, I can't go on the side of this table. I don't know what to tell
Exactly.
you.
I might as well walk on your back now.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Right, and you brought up a good point for, future, and maybe some. Well, I'm assuming if you went to school to train to be a massage therapist, that you can, that's why I was building up to what you pretty much just answered. Like, you can build up, you can work
Hmm.
anywhere, you can go for a certain amount of time without having to be
Yeah,
licensed. I
exactly.
think I would say the average is about, what is it, like 2 weeks, I want to say, somewhere
I
around there, a
have to
total totality
totality wise
wise
per,
maybe.
and it's like some of them are per. You have to know the state. Some of them are per your visit, and some of them are per the
Okay.
year. Like in the fiscal, no, well, yeah, in a year,
Mm-hmm.
January to
Mm-hmm.
December, you can work a total of two
Mm-hmm.
weeks or whatever. So it depends on state to state. They just need to all
Mm-hmm.
just come and be one and just call it a day. Honestly, you
Right,
know,
make it
make it
simple,
simple.
you know
Too much headache.
because I'm starting to get requests about
Hmm.
that, and I'm like, not yet.
Yeah,
Because I'm
it's
like,
fun though.
I don't even know what that looks like,
Change of
you
environment and stuff
know?
like that. It's fun. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, because it's coming. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
happening
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
sure. It's just not yet.
You got gotta do what you
But
gotta do.
yeah, that enlightened me. That's information for me as
Hmm.
well, man. Like, oh, that's
Yep,
incredible.
yep.
So it's like how, like, I know you mentioned Facebook ads and stuff. Do you depend on that, maybe word of mouth, just kind of
Um,
the natural for marketing wise, or do you have like a marketing strategy? Like, how do
so my
you
marketing
market?
strategy is 100% Instagram. Like
Instagram?
100% Instagram. I don't do any Google
Mm,
ads or Yelp ads,
yeah,
newspapers, flyers, um,
yeah.
emails, and stuff like that. Not because I don't believe in them, but that's how I started
Mm,
out. During the pandemic, we were limited on what we could do. So, I mean, word of mouth wasn't going to work out because nobody was getting massages to talk about it.
at
So,
all.
all my audience was
Yeah.
Instagram. And so I kind of stuck to that because literally 90% of my clientele is from Instagram, and that's no joke. I could call a random client right
Right.
now and ask them where they found me. And even if they found me through word of mouth, that word of mouth found me through Instagram. More than likely. Yep, yep,
Wow.
yep. Matter of fact, I have two
Is it
clients tomorrow. Both of them found me on Instagram. So, my strategy is basically Instagram. And Instagram, I don't even do ads on there. I've only done two ads on
okay?
Instagram ever. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But the ads do work,
That's
but
incredible.
just that engagement constantly, that's why I constantly post, constantly try to put material out there. And people want to see the work. I used to do pictures and stuff like that. My mentor told me, look, you're
Mm,
offering a service that people kind of need to see what they're getting. And a picture is one thing. If you're going to do your nails, a picture is, it's cool. But if you're gonna get something like a
right.
massage, you
Right.
don't just want to see a hand on the back. Like, what does that even mean? It's a hand on the back.
Right.
Like, do
It's
they
like
apply pressure? Do they not know how
what
to apply
you're
pressure?
praying for him.
Do they
Right.
know how to do deep tissue?
Right.
So I got into the video
Right.
aspect of it, and I'll be honest, between me and you,
Okay.
a lot of my clients have told me
Mhm.
like, I saw your video, and I figured from that you knew what you were doing, so I booked you. Honest truth, I'm telling you. Yeah, that's a tip from me to you.
Wow.
Those videos
Yes,
are,
sir. I take all
yeah,
the
those
tips I can
videos
get.
are working. They are working. So you often
Oh
see me always
man,
reach out to clients
because
like, hey, I want to shoot a video. Hey, I want to shoot a video. It's all work, bro. It's all my marketing. Yep, yep,
mm-hmm.
yep. Because I need that content.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir. Yes,
Got to.
sir. And yeah, I see you got
I
TikTok and
recently
everything like
jumped
that, but
on that. I,
Instagram
I
is the
was
one
hesitant.
primary. Really?
Recently, I
Okay.
don't think my TikTok is even 2 months old. I recently jumped on that.
Wow.
Another service provider was like, "Hey, you got to get on TikTok, man. You got to jump on that now." And
Mm,
even now, I feel like I'm still late, but I'm on there now. I don't post every day
man.
like I do on my Instagram, but I'm trying to get there. It's work.
Mm,
It is work. Yeah.
right. Do, do you have like do you do story and post, or do you do
I try to
story and
do
then the
both.
next day you may do post, or
So
you
my one thing my
both?
mentor told
Okay.
me was to try to post 3 times a day, either two stories and one
Three
post,
times.
or two
Hmm.
posts and one story. But I gotta post 3 times a day, which I thought it was excessive and time consuming. But during the pandemic, it was realistic.
Hmm.
We're home, we're doing nothing. All we're doing is on Instagram. But now it's a little
Right.
different.
Oh
We're out
man.
and about driving,
Yeah.
working. You barely have time to even.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that we're having this conversation now. I just looked at my Instagram and I
Hmm.
haven't posted in 8 days. That's crazy. For me, that's
Wow.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Like
Yep.
wow. I try. It's been a little bit
Hmm.
different for me, but and maybe that's why my asking, trying to get all the tips, and to
Hmm.
share, of course. Like is my reach
Hmm.
out of town is like it's not that strong. There's people that may be like
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
Jersey. I know you
Hmm.
all. We know each other. But as far as like clientele, I'm maybe one or two in a place, but I'm like, how do I expand this? Because where I'm at in Indiana, like the Google and the word of mouth and everything is spreading and is
Nice.
getting big locally. But I'm looking at how can, and this is what drove me to
Mm,
TikTok. Of maybe with TikTok, there's a bigger audience is the probably the most
Mhm.
active, I would
Mhm.
say, right now, along with Instagram. But TikTok is really
Mhm.
moving. And if I can create more videos to bring more, um, just content for people to enjoy and to see, and try to put a little bit of I don't want to say a little bit of spice, but a
Mhm.
little bit of touch to it. The lights, you see, I got the lights
Mhm.
going here. I see that you got the lights. Like the lights. First of all, how did these lights take off? Everybody got
I
like a
have
light in
no
their
idea.
room now. Is it just
I have
me?
no idea.
I'm like, you're not doing anything
Yeah.
unless you got some colors.
I
You
really have
know?
no idea. I got into the lights because I
We
only
don't
have
need.
overhead lights, and especially when your
Mm,
client is supine, which is, for those who don't know, is face up, but the light is so bright.
mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, I can't do this. So I need a way to
Yeah.
dim it. And of course, my landlord wouldn't, well, they don't have the dimmable lights. So I went with the lights just
Mm-hmm.
to be able to dim them. And before I knew it, everybody had lights. And I mean, I don't mind. It's not like it's my idea, but it's everywhere.
Right.
But
Right.
it
Right.
creates that
Right.
atmosphere. It creates
Yeah.
that Zen
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere. It definitely makes a
Different.
difference. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I enjoy it. Like for super and prone is face down for those who don't know. Prone is face down, supine is up. The way we were taught
Yep.
like supine,
Mm-hmm.
like holding a
Mm-hmm.
bowl of soup. That's how we were taught prone. So the opposite of that, of course, is prone. But like even in my studio here with the lights on and everything like that, and it's a little dim and it's bright. I usually like for me, the
Mm-hmm.
color red brings it. It's like the
Yep.
dimmest
Same
light
here.
I
Red and blue for
have.
me.
That way, when you turn over,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
red and blue view, yeah, red and blue. Because usually, if it's going like this and you roll over, you're waking up, and I don't
Exactly.
want you to do that. You're waking up because you're gonna think it's sunlight beaming on you. And it's like we don't want that. We don't want that at all. So I try to do
Mm-hmm.
that before. And one thing for everybody listening is like to make sure you um go through the process as a client. We talked about
Mm-hmm.
that before, but make sure you inspect your table, make sure it's comfortable, make sure when you roll over and go supine, it may be something that you didn't notice because we're so used to
Mm-hmm.
looking down
Mm-hmm.
that when you look
That is
up
so
there can
true.
be
I'm glad you're
something
saying that.
you
Yep.
didn't know.
Yep.
You know what I
I
mean?
learned that
Like
recently.
where did that cobweb come from? Right?
Yep.
Like I didn't know I had a balloon string up there. I never had a
Exactly.
balloon. When did I
Yeah. I scheduled a massage,
have a
a
balloon?
mobile massage for myself, but I took it in my studio. And just laying on the table, I noticed so many things
Okay.
I'd never thought about. I noticed the AC vent hits my
Mm-hmm.
client's back a certain way, and I'm like, I never noticed this. But I've gotten a couple of comments say, it's
Really?
kind of chilly, and I'm thinking it's not really chilly in here. But it was chilly because the vent was right there, specifically hitting their back, and I didn't even know that. To me, it felt good because I'm moving
Mm,
around.
see.
But laid on the table, I was
Right.
like,
But
wow.
to them,
Then I
they're
noticed
like,
some stains on the ceiling, and I'm like, oh, that's not cool. So I'm glad you said
right?
that.
Because it's
Yep.
rare that we look up. We're
Looking
so
down.
used to like, okay, what's going on
Yep,
here? We got to
yep,
fix
yep.
this table, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
man, because to me, like I have a vent here, but it's not that strong. It's more kind of like I just feel some type
Mm-hmm.
of temperature. You don't even feel wind. That's why I actually
Mm,
got a fan
gotcha.
right here, and that
Mm-hmm.
fan kind of hovers. And for me, that's the aspect I went because, and I kind of rotated with that and the mixture of the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
waterfall and the reason for this waterfall is because the music plays, but when it goes to a different song, for me, it's an awkward
Ah.
pause, right? And I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't like that
Mm-hmm.
pause. I feel like I get thrown off, and I'm anticipating for this next song to come on. If there's some technical difficulties, it may
Yep.
take longer. I don't want that. I need some consistent
Mm-hmm.
noise, but to keep it relaxing. So I was like, let me get a
Mm.
waterfall. So as the songs switch from song to song, you zoom
Hmm.
into this sound,
Hmm.
right? Until the song
Interesting.
comes back on. So that's another thing to like kind of keep a consistent flow. And how can you keep your client in a constant
Mm.
zen, right? Without messing it up. So that's one of the
I
little
like
tricks
that.
of the trade. I didn't really talk about this waterfall much. And it's a nice waterfall. Everybody like it. They like it so much they think it's fake water coming out. They come and touch it
Oh,
and be
wait a
like,
minute, it's real water.
it's real water. Your finger wet.
Yep.
I see it. Well, let me get you a
It's
napkin
real.
now. That is
Now you
real.
know.
So That's some. That's
Mm-hmm.
the tips of the
Mm-hmm.
trade as well. And like, how do you handle? Like, do you? How should I say this? Like, from your, let's talk about
Mm-hmm.
business a little bit more. More like, which you don't have to share this if you don't want. Like, and I'm not talking about actual numbers, but like taxes wise, do you find it a bit easier once through the
Once
year
through the
or
year.
quarterly? Or is there
Yep.
a
I
once through the
just
year?
literally
Okay, because
asked my
then I'm
accountant
not.
that 2 days ago. I was like, hey, listen, I would rather have this process be easy because taxes,
Mm,
I hate to use the word hate, but I really hate I hate ta
mm.
doing taxes.
Me too.
It is so tedious, and you got to get all this information together and whatever. I eventually get it together anyway, but
Hmm,
the
hmm.
process between wearing all the different
It's
caps and having to
crazy.
deal with that, yeah,
Oh,
let's just say it's not fun. It's
it's
crazy.
crazy.
So if I
It's
have to deal with it once a year,
crazy.
I prefer that than every quarter. And hey, I
Right,
got to figure
right.
this out. I got to figure that out. I figured it would be easy. So it's a
Mm,
question I just asked my accountant 2 days ago. He's like, nope, just stick to the once a year. It's fine. He says, if you
okay.
start making a certain
Yep. And do
amount,
you
then you want to start quarterly, you can. But until now, just do annual. Yep. Yep.
once a year?
Hmm. Hmm.
Cool, cool. Because I was thinking like my accountant, I make sure whatever I buy,
Other
I take a
receipt. Yep.
picture of the receipt and I
Hmm.
immediately send it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like I don't even want to try
Later.
to find this
Exactly.
later. It's like,
Yep.
side note. I don't know if it's just in Indiana, but I feel like people do not want to give receipts anymore. It's like,
I have
when did we
noticed that.
start this? Is that
It's
like that
like
in
that
Maryland?
I
Like I
think,
have
you know
to
what?
ask
I think
often.
it's the POS systems they're using these days. And just, I think them having that
Okay.
option pop up for them, like, does the client want a receipt or not?
Hmm,
And, an effort of being green,
hmm.
which, is cool. But I think that's what it is because I've noticed that
Right.
more and
Cool.
more people ask me, do I want a receipt? And I'm thinking, why else would I pay you for something and not want a receipt? I want proof that I paid for it. Like, that's not even a question.
Right. If
Give me
something
my damn
happened,
receipt in case I need to return
right?
it.
Something happened, you come back in,
Or I try to walk out through the door.
right? There's something wrong with this. You got the receipt.
Exactly.
You ain't give it to me. You just saw
Exactly.
me 2 seconds
Exactly.
ago.
So I that's what I think.
So
But
yeah,
it's
that's
not an Indiana thing. It's definitely happening
mm,
around here.
that,
Yep.
okay. Because I was like, I do not know if that's just me because it
Oh
is
yeah.
crazy that I have to even. It makes
Mm-hmm.
absolutely
Mm-hmm.
no sense, man. And like, oh man. So do you have, as far as like the mobile traveling, do you have like a certain range before you may add a little bit
Um
more, or you pretty much like, look, I'm taking care of Laurel,
I I
Maryland.
service the
I got y'all.
whole Maryland, but at the same time, well, I do Maryland, DC, Virginia, but mostly Maryland because we're just so
Okay.
close. I could be in Virginia, Northern Virginia,
Yeah.
in 45 minutes. I could be in DC in 45
Oh
minutes.
wow.
So it's really
Yeah.
not that much of a drive, especially since my office is 30 minutes from home, you
Yeah.
know. So um,
Okay. Okay.
I service all of Maryland, but the math has to math, it has to make sense. If I'm gonna drive,
Mm-hmm.
'cause there are some parts of
Mm-hmm.
Maryland that are almost an hour and a half away. If I'm gonna do that, I need to charge an extra travel fee and whatnot.
Wow.
Because, you're spending an hour and a half just to get there, an hour and a
Mm-hmm.
half just to get
Mm-hmm.
back to where you are supposed to be, and then an hour massage in there. Before you know it, an hour massage
Mm-hmm.
just turned into 5 hours, or 4 hours. So, yeah, I do that. But
Man.
I honestly, I'm trying to stay
Yeah.
away from mobile massages, even though that's all I did today. But I'm trying to stay away from
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just about to
yeah. I'm
ask you
trying to
that.
stay away from it. It's just tedious, man. Carrying that table up and down, left and right,
There's a
setting
lot.
up, breaking down is a lot.
There's a
I just
lot.
rather change sheets between clients
Yeah.
than change the whole setup,
Mm-hmm.
start the
Mm-hmm.
music again, make sure I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna run into the coffee table over here
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Right.
all of that.
All that. Because I was going to ask you, like, which one do you get more of? Do you get more mobile, or
Um,
now that you have the studio, are you getting more studio
hmm,
clients, or is it like a conversion and starting to transition
yeah.
into the
Any
studio
of my
being
clients that
more
hears
a
this is gonna be like,
preferable
"Oh, that's
option?
what's going on." But what is happening? what has happened is I gradually um, take off days for mobile massage. I've been gradually taking off. Like I used to do like 4 days a week, and I went down to three, then I went down to two. Now I'm down to one a week. Um, to discourage people from
Mhm.
booking that and then coming to see me in the studio. Because one, I'm paying rent there anyway, and it's just easier. I get to create the atmosphere that I
Mhm.
want every single time. I don't have to worry about, like my client I had
Mhm.
today, I flipped them over, the sun was right in their eye because that's where their window is. Not my fault. But this is what they did. I'm
Man.
like, you can't have a massage like that.
Oh God.
At some point, I'm gonna need that arm to massage it, and guess what? The light is gonna be in your eye.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Right. You don't want your,
exactly.
you
Very
know, that's
important,
a
especially with all
very
these
that
texting and
right
everything.
there,
Yeah.
money,
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep. Yep.
money,
Yep.
right here. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
getting that, everybody
seriously.
melts, especially
All the
us,
time.
because we use it more too. But
Oh yeah.
everybody, like you said, the
Oh yeah,
texting
lots
and
of feedback from that. Lots
oh
of feedback from
man,
that.
yeah.
But to
I
answer your question, yeah, I'm getting less
oh
mobile because I'm setting up my clients to be more studio people than to be mobile people. Yep.
okay.
It's just easier to work with. Yeah, man.
Man, man, I got to visit, man. There's been a couple of times where I was like, I'm gonna make like once
You
I
should,
do
man. It's
start
fun.
traveling,
You
I'm
learn
gonna make a
so
trip to
much
Maryland, man.
traveling and doing
Yeah,
massage. You
I
just
got
learn
to.
so much. Yeah.
I,
It's a whole
yeah,
different aspect of mobile
oh,
massage.
I'm definitely gonna have to.
Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine. Like, man, I gotta. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do it. You know what I mean? It's like the goal is to like really, because with the end, I feel the industry is constantly only
Mm-hmm.
showcasing the relaxation. And you and I
So
both know
much.
there's so much more to offer, right? So that's where I mean by like the Avengers, the ones that I know and that I'm inspired by and that I feel will do an awesome job and eventually get to a point to where
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we're working together. Like this is
Nice.
part of the first step is saying, I'm gonna sit
Mm-hmm.
down with each and every one of them because this platform, and then eventually I can
Yeah,
have up
yeah.
to 8 where we're all talking at the same time. I can have 8 here and really communicate and really try to build something there within the industry where people can have that eye opener, like you're referring to is like
Mm-hmm.
right now they're blinded by the
Mm-hmm.
light because this is what's being shown, but let's go ahead and open the curtains and show like, hey, you really can get help here. It's way
Yep.
more medical,
Mm-hmm.
therapeutic, holistic than
Yep.
just relaxation. So I ask you, what do you feel or wish that would change or that can improve from a client perspective of massage uh, therapy, the industry that we're in? What would you like the clients to know? Is there anything that you wish that would be more upfront, that they would have more
um,
knowledge about, that they,
I
because our
think
job is to educate too,
to answer that
but like,
question,
yeah, what changes?
I wish they knew more about how massage could help them physically and mentally, but more importantly,
Mm-hmm.
physically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I also
Mm-hmm.
wish that they knew how much they actually need it, not just as a want or a luxury
Mm-hmm.
item. Reason I say that is
Mm-hmm.
like for me, one of the major reasons I was gonna get into massage therapy before I was inspired by one of my friends, I had chronic back pain right in between the shoulder blades for like 3 years on and off. Did physical therapy for that for 3 years on and off. I was on muscle relaxers, Flexeril. I was on naproxen almost constantly for that. I could barely lift. I don't even know what a 10 pound dumbbell without pain. So I used to walk around with a sling, and my arm would be like that the whole time
What?
at the age of 20 something. And I was like, this cannot be life. Long story short, one day I'm sitting in physical therapy,
What?
and one of the new guys, younger guy, comes. He's taking care of me that day. He's trying to set me up, and he's like, "Hey, so what are you here for again?" I was just reading your file. You have back pain, blah blah blah. He was just kind of getting to know his new patient, and he was like, "If you don't mind, can I
Mm-hmm.
reassess you?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So, he does his palpation or whatever. For those of you who don't know, is just like kind of feeling on the muscles to trying to feel if there's any tightness or whatnot. And so he starts from my back.
Mm-hmm.
He asks me what triggers it, all the questions that, like any therapist would typically ask when someone is in pain. And I tell him, and he palpates me all the
Mm-hmm.
way down to my forearm. And he's like, I think I found the problem. That's what I did. I laughed in his face, like,
Mm,
okay,
mm.
sure. I've been here for 3 years. You are new. You just got here, and you think you solved my problem in like,
Right.
I don't know, 20 minutes? I was like, no. But I was in so much pain. I was like, you know what? Go for it. Whatever you got to do, I'm just tired.
Mm-hmm.
I just came from my 9 to 5. Now I'm here
Yeah.
when I could be home, laying on this machine and it's rubbing my
Mm.
back, and I got heat pads. And then after that, I got exercises and stretches. Come on, this is not fun. So
Oh
he
man.
massaged my
Yeah.
forearm no more than 10 minutes. And he was like, you have any pain? And I thought about it. I was like, I actually don't. And I was that guy. I was doing everything. Like I was throwing my hand whichever way.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
this is not possible. I mean, I believe in
Yeah.
miracles, but what did this guy just
What?
do?
Right.
And he's like, you know what? I think your problem is
Right.
from too much typing and using your mouse. And so whenever I would kind of click or type, my forearm muscle here, which is the one which is moving right
Mm-hmm.
here, would be inflamed, and that was getting tight,
Mm-hmm.
recruiting, and rest of them were compensating all the way up, and my referred pain wasn't in my back. And that was the solution. So he said, anytime that
Mm.
happens, this was in 2015-ish. He said, anytime that happens, just grab some
Yeah.
lotion, rub your forearm as hard as you can. If you can rub it on the edge of a countertop or something like that, do it. And bro, 3 years of pain, when I say it dissolved like salt in hot water in 10 minutes, it's it's not like I heard this story. This actually happened to me. And I became a believer. And from that day, I was like, I
Yeah.
have to become a physical therapist because if people would find the time
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
just have the patience to assess
Mm-hmm.
people, half the people walking around wouldn't be in pain. I mean, I really didn't have to be there. I didn't have to be on any of those medications. Not to say medications don't work, please. If you have to
Mm-hmm.
be on medications, do what you got to do. But for me personally, it was not for me. And so
Right.
that's one thing from a client
Exactly.
viewpoint. I wish most people would know that this is an avenue that you could look into. And I'm kind of glad insurance companies are offering it more and more. People don't know this, but you could check with your company's insurance. A lot of my friends have found out that they're entitled to a
Mm-hmm.
30-minute massage every 2 weeks on their insurance plan and didn't even know it. Yeah. A lot of insurance covers
What?
massage now, so that's
See?
one thing people don't know. And because
Yeah. Me too.
insurance companies have realized that they can save money if they send you to get a massage and fix your problem, then have to pay for all the pills that you have to take and all the doctor visits you have to go get for your chronic pain. That could be solved by, I don't want to, make it any less, but just somebody poking in your back pretty much or poking in a muscle. Sometimes that's the
That's
fix,
it.
you know?
That's
Yep.
it. Like it's the
Mm-hmm.
trained and the
Mm-hmm.
untrained. It's the skill, and even though they got the license, which is mine's is right there, in the
Hey,
room. I also
you
have
got
a
to do that.
display in your room, as we go into
Yep.
this license thing. You gotta do that. But it's a lot of stuff because I remember when I was working on my mom and was dealing with you know working
Mm-hmm.
on high blood pressure, and I try to, and I say it time and time again. It's like if you have high blood pressure, that's one of the main benefits because
Yep.
getting you into that parasympathetic
Your blood
state
pressure. Yep.
of lowering your high blood. You
Mm-hmm.
do not have to be on pills if you get
Mm-hmm.
massages
It
and
has to be regular,
regular.
just like medication.
You can
Yep.
eliminate that. That has to be regular. And if you're doing that just as
Mm-hmm.
regular as you're getting your hair done or you're getting your hair cut or however, whatever you do on a regular basis for your appearance, you don't just have to look good,
And this is
you
what I wish
feel
they
good
knew.
as well.
But coming out of our mouths, it sounds like we're
Yes,
just trying to
sir.
make more money.
This is
No,
why
it's
we're
it's
doing
not
this.
even about that. I'm not trying to get people to sign up to do more massages or whatever. You're not.
Hmm.
But like you said, even
Hmm.
high blood pressure.
Yeah.
If
Right.
you do, if massages regularly, can solve that problem. Yep. A lot of people don't know.
A lot of people don't know because what's in front that's blinding them. Hey, relax. It's like, okay,
Yes. Yes.
we can do that too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But let's really get to the root cause of it. That's the reason for this show is to have
Yep.
that eye opener to be able. And we're going to do this so
I
much
would
more. We
love. I
definitely
would
gonna bring
love to be
Kofi
back.
back much more. Like we're oh man, we got to do
Yes,
that,
sir.
and it's gonna start getting bigger. You're gonna see a couple of people start coming in the room. It's gonna get bigger and bigger because I think we
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
should come together. You know, we're doing our thing. We have our goals. We have our vision, but forming those Avengers and having, you know, for whoever watched this, who wherever you may be, here's options to where I think is, you know, one of the best to ever do it, you know, coming out and to have the accomplishments to, you know, being so early and having so, you know, I don't want to say
It's. I'm
little, but
still
the
learning. Yeah.
experience is
Yeah.
still
I'm learning
growing. We're
every
still
day.
students of this. You
Yep.
know, I'm still learning. Kofi's still
Mm-hmm.
learning. Like we're still trying to build this thing, but we're bringing to you like, hey, there's more, ladies and gentlemen, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not being told to you. It's not being shown to you. So let us be the examples to
Mm-hmm.
show you how it should be, and show how it's done, and show how you can benefit off of it, and show how, you know,
Oh
like a
man,
lot
that's
of
a
people may
big
have
one.
sciatic problems
Oh my
and
gosh.
may not know that
Mm-hmm.
your piriformis is
Yeah.
tight. It's so many plantar fasciitis with K taping.
Mm-hmm.
It's so many things
Seriously.
that can help you. And to the point where
Yeah.
it's about how you feel. It's about
Mm-hmm.
your day to day is what I'm after. And if I can get or help your day to day to be that much more enjoyable for you to enjoy life, if you got grandchildren, if you
Mm-hmm.
got kids,
Mm-hmm.
if you just want to travel, or wherever you want to do, you can get around much better and enjoy the moment versus you mentally tolerating whatever pain you may be in or have to,
Better
you know, you
quality of
can't even
life.
enjoy the food
Yeah.
you want. I mean, but yeah, like eat
Mm-hmm.
good, you know, it's that quality. And that's
Exactly.
what we're after. Not a money thing.
We're just
We're
trying to
after
help.
you living the best life you can live. That's
That's
what
all
we're
it
here
is.
for. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And giving y'all this information to kind of you can ask the you know wherever you go.
Yep. Yep.
Start,
Yep.
you know, asking
Yep.
questions more, you know, to see what we can do and start
Mm-hmm.
getting more informed and involved versus just, oh, I just need to get away. That's fine too and beneficial as well, especially coming out of COVID. I
It
think
did.
massage
It
therapy
did.
just
Yes.
skyrocketed off the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
roof. It was already growing,
Oh man.
but
Totally.
since COVID happened,
Yeah.
and this in
People
this
realize the
this
need for it.
industry,
Yeah. They really do. Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm, and they're becoming more aware, and they need more information and access to
Totally.
understand how much we can help. And this is why
It was a
I can't
pleasure.
thank you enough, brother. I can't. We you know what I mean. What started this was that thought years ago. It's like, what if somebody come here to Indiana? They could go to the
Mm-hmm.
Zodiac
Mm-hmm.
Experience. Somebody that's in
Yeah.
Maryland or can go to
Yep.
Maryland and go to Makairos
Mm-hmm.
Massage and Wellness Center, or they can go here and go to this person. Given those referrals, coming together, you know, maybe joining forces on
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
you know, an event or something. It's like, hey, we're here. Like, that's the vision I would like to see. People getting not just
Mm-hmm.
involved with their session to session, but having major wellness events. And I know they have events, you know, like you know, well, here's like downtown the convention center, AMTA events. You know, make sure your massage therapist insurance
Highly important.
insured as well. You know,
Yeah. Highly
like I said
important.
before, mine's is in the wallet, so I carry it with me everywhere I go with my license. I can hand that to you, like here you go. You know, so just like my driver's license, that's in there too. But I wish we had bigger events to
Mm-hmm.
really highlight
Yeah.
the lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
of self care and self
So
love
important.
and well
So
being.
important. And more people
That's
are
what this
starting to
is
think
about.
like that. So I think you're
Very,
definitely in the right direction for sure.
yes, sir.
For sure. Self care is becoming more,
Definitely, man. Now, I know I can't do this alone, and this is why I can't thank you
anytime.
all enough. I can't do this alone. I can do my part, but I have multiple parts moving,
Yes, sir.
and we
Yes,
all come
sir.
together on one accord.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, we can make some
We ought
we
to
can
make
make
some
some
noise.
noise. we can make some noise in the nation. You know what I mean? So definitely, man.
No
I'm not
problem.
trying to take up too much
Yeah.
more of your time, but we definitely gonna do this again. We're gonna run this back. We're gonna talk some more. We're gonna have some sit downs, and
Yes, sir.
talk about massage life
I
and
would
talk
love to.
about experiences. Cause oh my gosh,
This has been fun for
yeah,
sure.
man. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, ladies and gentlemen.
Likewise.
Ball. It's been such a pleasure. It's been such an honor. Hopefully, you've learned something. Hopefully, you or been enlightened about a situation or a condition that you may be under that we
Hmm.
possibly can help with. We won't know until you come and see one of us. I highly
Appreciate you.
recommend going to see Kofi.
Well,
Makairos, Laura Miller, Maryland. If you're in there,
thank you.
if you're there, go holler at them. Go get
Yes.
right. Go get better because we got you covered. As usual, I appreciate you, sir. Much love. Definitely doing this again.
Definitely.
Gonna be much more to come. And for everybody, remember to resync back to yourself. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can get notified on the new uploads to the channel. If you're watching this on my website, thezodiacexperience.com, make sure you join the email list where you can get notified on new episodes or even a chance to join the live show, me and the audience, and even get some cool gear like this jacket and shirt. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple, iTunes, whatever you are, make sure you follow so you can get notified as well. And last but not least, if you're not following me on any of the social platforms, IG, Facebook, TikTok, etc., everything is at the Zodiac Experience. All the links, everything else could be found down below. Appreciate you tuning in once again. Thank you. And remember to resync back to yourself.